motor running. Head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Yeah, darling, go make it happen.
Maybe you've heard of the Segway, that goofy-looking transportation device that was all over the news a few years ago. Well, someone came up with a cool idea of doing tours around town on it. So I finally had the chance to try it out.
The tours actually started in Paris, France, where our first Segway tour operation opened up 3 years ago. And ever since then, they've been exploring other cities where there's a lot of tourist things to do and see. And Atlanta seemed to be a very natural location because this was actually one of the very first test cities in America where the Segway was actually used down in downtown Atlanta. So it was a very easy introduction to the city of the Segway tours because they've already been being used here on the streets.
Before the tour could begin, we had to learn how to ride it. The main thing is to remain relaxed. Leaning forward moves the machine forward, and leaning back makes you roll, well, backwards.
And then when you want to turn, on the left side of the machine, there's a little button you turn left or right, and that's going to turn you. So if I twist to the left, I'll turn to the left. And if I twist to the right, I'll turn to the right.
But it's all on the same
all
side.
On the same side,
okay.
Yeah.
And then Joe let me try it.
Okay. Just lean forward over your toes a little bit. Come towards me. There you go. Now go back over your heels. Now just go forward and back a few times. Just kind of get used to that feeling.
This is fun. Okay.
Do that a couple more times.
It only took me a couple of minutes to feel right at home on the Segway. And turn right and go forward. Oh, I got
Now the important thing
this.
is not to run over your tour guide while you're doing this. So
oh, thank you. Well, you're no fun. No. Pedestrians, I guess.
Pedestrians are okay, but not the tour guide.
Oh, this is great. We had plenty of time to practice before being let loose on an unsuspecting city. Circling the plaza, practicing turns, playing follow the leader with Joe, and negotiating obstacles, and also dealing with sidewalks left me confident enough to avoid unwary pedestrians. And so our intrepid group went forth.
The day tour basically covers all of downtown Atlanta. It starts at Underground Atlanta, which is where our office is located. And it starts there, down by towards the World of Coke, up towards the state capitol.
We took a breather while Joe enlightened us about the history of the Capitol building.
And the governor's office is located on the second floor, right behind his statue. One of our most famous governors, Jimmy Carter. What makes the Segway tour really good in Atlanta is that there's just a lot of history in Atlanta that people don't really realize, between the founding of Atlanta to the Civil War history, to the civil rights and black history, and then even the modern times. There's been a lot of history with the Olympics and beyond that. And the city has really changed a lot over the last 150 so years.
We left the Capitol building and went down to Auburn Avenue. This is Big Bethel, the African Methodist Episcopal Church, or AME for short. A few minutes later, we reached the Martin Luther King Center.
And we have basically we have a stop there. People get off their Segways and have a chance to walk around and explore that area. And then from the Martin Luther King Center, we move back up Auburn Avenue towards downtown into the Woodruff Park area. The reaction from bystanders are varied. It's a huge range. Mostly people just want to come up to you and just ask you, what is that machine? A lot of people may never have seen one before. The biggest question is, how does it work? And then you hear words like cool, and that's really neat, and that's really weird. That's the big one that people use to describe. It's just weird. So the reaction is very, very positive.
We continued down Lucky Street to Centennial Park.
You see all the great attractions around there, like CNN and the aquarium. And then from there, we go back down Marietta Street, back towards the Underground.
The best thing about the tour on the Segway is that you actually can get more hands-on and more than you would probably see from riding maybe a bus or a trolley. You actually can get off your Segway if you like and go into different buildings and different sites, as well as ride right past the ones you don't care too much to look into.
Well, I think it's always fun to ride things. I mean, from the time we're kids, we're riding bikes and we want to be on our big wheels and our sit and spins and things like that. Plus, it's really cool and everyone looks at you and says, hey, that's cool, where can I get one? So it's a lot of fun. You get to be a little bit of a rock star and sort of fulfill some childhood playtime fantasies.